Good morning from Montreal-Trudeau International Airport. My name is Alex, and welcome to this trip report. Today, I'm flying with WestJet Encore on a short flight over to Toronto on board their Bombardier Q400, or as they're called now, their de Havilland Canada Dash 400. WestJet Encore is WestJet's regional subsidiary and started operations in 2013. They've since grown to a fleet of 47 Dash 400s, serving short regional routes across Canada. I booked this trip as part of flying on the first revenue flight of WestJet's Dreamliner in February, from Toronto to Calgary. I knew I had to be on the flight, so I decided to make a side trip to Montreal beforehand to visit my good friend Mark and do some plane spotting. Big thank you to him, by the way, for driving us around. Do go check out his channel. Anyway, that of course meant that I had to fly from Montreal to Toronto to catch the Dreamliner, and the earliest flight happened to be with Encore. Our aircraft for today is a 2-year-old Dash 400, registered as Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey Echo Papa. This is actually my first time flying in one of these aircraft, and for those of you who don't know, I'm 6'8", so going in I was really not sure what to expect legroom-wise. We'll find out shortly. WestJet Encore has 78 seats on this aircraft in a 2-class configuration, 10 seats in premium and 68 seats in economy.
We don't have the window on that side. Oh. We have aisle window.
Only one window?
On this flight, yeah.
I picked seat 4A in economy on this flight, and it's not great. Economy class on WestJet Encore has 30 inches of pitch, which I can normally squeeze into, but because these are hard shell seats with low tray tables, it's actually painful for me to sit here without raising my knees.
Stop laughing at my face.
As my travel companion for this trip alluded to, that really is as comical as it looks. But I think you get the point. I just did not fit. However, as boarding came to a close, there seemed to be one last bastion of hope up front. Seat 1A, a window seat in the very first row, seemed to be unoccupied. So I took a chance, got the attention of one of the cabin crew, pointed to my legs, and asked if there was any way I could move up there. They said they'd talk to their coworker and get back to me. The issue is that WestJet sells the first 3 rows as premium seats, so they can't really move passengers freely. But a few minutes later, and bless these wonderful people, they let me move up into much roomier row 1 for this 1 hour and 20-minute flight. So, as you can see, much better than my previous seat. I can't tell you what a relief that was. I'm so thankful to the crew for making that happen, and now I can enjoy my first ride on a Q400. Here's our departure from Montreal, taxiing, de-icing, and taking off from runway 24 left.
4 travel day and 3 days.
On the 3rd day, I come back, which is the 4th day after.
Yeah.
It's true.
So we were in Belize with him, and he was walking the streets. Anyways, he was just walking. This guy, Bob came over.
They go out again. May 20th to June 20th. And that was
Much like the Airbus A220, this former Bombardier product also underwent a change of name. Essentially, since the program was sold to Longview Aviation, they've revived the de Havilland Canada brand. Officially, these are no longer known as Bombardier Q400s, rather the de Havilland Canada Dash 400. WestJet's website still advertises it as a Bombardier Q400 though, so essentially same plane, mild identity crisis among the airlines. Like I said earlier, Encore has 78 seats on these Dash 400s, but because of the way the cabin is designed, there are only 4 bulkhead/exit row seats that offer any real legroom. 1 Alpha and 1 Bravo, and then 2 Charlie and 2 Delta. Since these seats are in the premium cabin, there's no way for tall people to properly get them without paying a lot more, unless you upgrade during check-in, which is usually between $20 and $40. Even then, there's no guarantee one of these 4 seats will actually be available. Skipping back to some footage from my previous seat for a moment, in the seat back pocket, Encore has the current month's issue of the WestJet magazine, a buy on board menu, and an air sickness bag, plus a typical safety card. On this short flight, we received a complimentary granola bar for a snack, as well as a drink. The tray table in this bulkhead row is located in the armrest and folds out. These Dash 8s also have a tiny lavatory without any running water. And yes, that's about as far in as I'm willing to go. WestJet Encore has no in-flight entertainment on their aircraft, not even a Wi-Fi based system like mainline aircraft have. But there's always the view outside, as well as the sunrise.
Approximately 20 minutes from now, weather has changed quite a lot. It's now showing -9 degrees and very cloudy skies. On behalf of the whole crew, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with WestJet Encore today, and I wish you a great rest of the day.
Stay tuned for my final thoughts on Encore after landing, but for now, here's our arrival onto Toronto-Pearson's Runway 05. Listen closely as we touch down for the altitude callouts from the ground proximity warning system. So, once the whole comfort thing was sorted out, I actually had a really pleasant flight with WestJet Encore. The crew on this flight were honestly fantastic. I'm so thankful to them for making that exception. I do recognize I'm not exactly the typical airline passenger, but this flight really could have gone a lot worse without that simple gesture from the crew. That seat, though, was not healthy for me. 30-inch pitch might be fairly standard on Q400s in general, but some of Encore's aircraft fly pretty long routes, like Calgary to Yellowknife, which can be almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, all the way in the back.
Regardless, the next time I fly an Encore Dash 8 or Q400, I know I have to book premium no matter what. I can't fully blame WestJet though. Airlines like Flybe in the UK and LOT Polish Airlines also use a 78-seat configuration. I'm just absurdly tall and didn't know what I was getting myself into. Otherwise though, thank you very much for watching this trip report with WestJet Encore. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you're new, and I'll see you next time.